Crimson Dawn. Kyoto was a living paradox, a city where ancient temples stood sentinel over a skyline punctuated by glass and steel. It was in this vibrant tapestry of tradition and modernity that Akira's story unfolded. A prodigy by any measure, Akira excelled in everything he touched. His intellect was razor-sharp, his athleticism unparalleled, and his artistic talent undeniable. Yet, the glow of his achievements was often dimmed by the shadow of his humble origins. His parents, though filled with pride, carried the weight of their limited means. "Akira, your potential is limitless," his father would say, his voice filled with a mixture of hope and worry. "But remember, our world is harsh. You must be practical." Akira understood. He excelled in school, not just for the thrill of knowledge, but for the promise of a better life for his family. But there was a restlessness within him, a yearning for something more than mere academic success. Late nights found him secluded in his small room, the only companionship the soft glow of his desk lamp. It was during these solitary hours that he stumbled upon a truth as extraordinary as it was terrifying. A surge of energy, unlike anything he had experienced, coursed through him. Objects moved without his touch, the air seemed to shimmer with an unseen force. Fear gripped him initially, but curiosity soon overpowered it. He began to experiment, to push the boundaries of this newfound ability. With each passing day, his control grew. He could manipulate air, creating gusts of wind with a mere thought. Water responded to his will, forming into shapes at his command. Even fire, the most dangerous of elements, seemed to obey his wishes. The exhilaration was tempered by a growing sense of responsibility. What if this power fell into the wrong hands? Could he control it when faced with real-world challenges? Questions swirled in his mind, as profound as the universe he was beginning to command. Akira's world was irrevocably altered. The boy who once dreamed of a life defined by books and athletic prowess now walked a tightrope between the ordinary and the extraordinary. His power, once a source of wonder, had become a burden and a blessing in equal measure. He confided in no one. The weight of his secret was too immense to share. To reveal his abilities would invite scrutiny, fear, perhaps even exploitation. He was a solitary island in a vast ocean, his power a lighthouse that cast a lonely glow. His days were a delicate balancing act. He excelled in school, his mind a voracious sponge absorbing knowledge. On the sports field, he was a natural, his body a finely tuned instrument. Yet, beneath this facade of normalcy, he was constantly experimenting, pushing the boundaries of his ability. There were failures, of course. Moments when his control faltered, when the elements seemed to rebel against his will. These setbacks were often accompanied by a surge of fear, a stark reminder of the potential dangers lurking within his gift. But there were also triumphs, moments of pure exhilaration when he felt a profound connection to the world around him, a sense of mastery that was both humbling and intoxicating. As months turned into a year, Akira found himself increasingly isolated. His friends, while supportive, couldn't comprehend the depths of his experience. His parents, though proud of his achievements, were oblivious to the storm raging within him. He was alone, a solitary explorer charting the uncharted territories of his own mind. The solitude began to wear on Akira. The exhilaration of discovery was gradually replaced by a profound loneliness. The world outside carried on, oblivious to the storm raging within him. He was a spectator in his own life, watching from a distance as others lived, loved, and laughed. The fear of discovery was a constant companion. A slip of the tongue, a moment of carelessness, could unravel his carefully constructed world. He became a master of disguise, of concealing his true self beneath layers of normalcy. It was an exhausting existence. One evening, while lost in thought, he inadvertently caused a small disturbance. A vase, sitting precariously on a shelf, shattered into 1,000 pieces. His heart pounded in his chest. Had someone heard the crash? Were they on to him? Panic set in. He cleaned up the mess frantically, his mind racing. No one had come. He was safe, for now. But the incident was a stark reminder of the fragility of his situation. He realized that he could not live in constant fear. He needed to find a way to use his power, to make a difference, without revealing his identity. Perhaps, he thought, there was a way to channel his abilities for the greater good. Maybe he could use his power to protect others, to right wrongs. The idea was both terrifying and exhilarating. It was a chance to break free from the prison of his own fear, to step into the light, albeit cautiously. While Akira grappled with the complexities of his extraordinary ability, another life was unfolding on a different spectrum. Haruka, an heiress born into a world of opulence, was a stark contrast to the young man from humble beginnings. Her life was a gilded cage. From the moment she drew breath, she was groomed for a role, the face of the family conglomerate. Her days were filled with etiquette lessons, business meetings, and social events. The weight of expectation was a heavy cloak she wore with a forced grace. Beneath the polished exterior, however, resided a soul yearning for authenticity. In the bustling corridors of her elite academy, she found an unexpected solace. The koto, an ancient Japanese instrument, became her sanctuary. Its strings were the conduit for emotions she couldn't express in words. The rhythm of the music was a heartbeat connecting her to a deeper part of herself. Their paths converged at Kyoto Academy, a crucible of ambition and talent. Akira, the scholarship student, and Haruka, the heiress, were from different worlds, yet their destinies intertwined. In the classroom, their minds engaged in a silent battle of intellect. Their competitive spirit was palpable, a dance of wits played out on the intellectual stage. On the sports field, their athleticism was a spectacle. Grace and power, precision and instinct, they were a study in contrasts. Yet, beneath the rivalry, a connection was forming, a spark ignited in the crucible of competition. Their worlds, though disparate, began to intersect. A shared love for classical literature, a mutual respect for intellectual pursuits, these were the threads that began to weave their stories together. Their paths converged at Kyoto Academy, a crucible of ambition and talent. Akira, the scholarship student, and Haruka, the heiress, were from different worlds, yet their destinies intertwined. In the classroom, their minds engaged in a silent battle of intellect. Their competitive spirit was palpable, a dance of wits played out on the intellectual stage. On the sports field, their athleticism was a spectacle. Grace and power, precision and instinct, they were a study in contrasts. Yet, beneath the rivalry, a connection was forming, a spark ignited in the crucible of competition. Their worlds, though disparate, began to intersect. A shared love for classical literature, a mutual respect for intellectual pursuits, these were the threads that began to weave their stories together. It was in the serene ambience of the school garden that their bond began to deepen. Haruka, drawn to Akira's enigmatic aura, found herself seeking his company. There, beneath the ancient cherry tree, they discovered a shared silence, a comfort in each other's presence. "It's strange," Haruka began one afternoon, her voice barely a whisper, "I feel a sense of peace here that I can't find anywhere else." Akira looked at her, his eyes reflecting the sunlight filtering through the leaves. "Perhaps it's the quiet," he suggested, his voice as soft as the breeze. "Or maybe it's you," she replied, her gaze meeting his. There was a moment of electric tension between them, a silent acknowledgement of a connection that was growing stronger with each passing day. It was in the serene ambience of the school garden that their bond began to blossom. Haruka, drawn to Akira's enigmatic aura, would often find herself seeking his company. They would sit beneath the ancient cherry tree, their conversations a gentle interplay of words and silence. Akira, in her presence, felt a warmth that transcended the cold logic that governed his life. Their connection deepened with each passing day. Shared laughter, whispered secrets, and stolen glances painted the canvas of their burgeoning relationship. The garden became their sanctuary, a place where they could escape the pressures of their worlds. Yet, as their affection blossomed, so too did the shadows that lurked in the periphery. Akira's extraordinary abilities made him a target for those who sought to exploit his power. The allure of such immense control was a siren song to the unscrupulous. "I've noticed strange occurrences lately," Akira confided in Haruka one evening. "People watching me, unusual questions." Haruka's hand found his, offering silent support. "We need to be careful, Akira. Your talent is a gift, but it's also a responsibility." Their love story, once a gentle melody, transformed into a symphony of courage and resilience. Akira became Haruka's protector, his elemental powers a shield against the encroaching darkness. Their school, once a place of learning, became a fortress guarded by love. The once serene garden was now a battlefield where ethereal magic clashed with human greed. Yet, through the chaos, their love remained an unwavering beacon. In the quiet moments between battles, they found solace in each other's arms. Their bond, forged in fire, was a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. Yet, through it all, their love remained steadfast. In the midst of chaos, they found solace in each other's arms. Their bond, forged in adversity, grew stronger with every challenge. The world outside might be engulfed in darkness, but their hearts were an oasis of light. The weight of their secret world began to consume them. Sleepless nights were filled with whispered plans and shared fears. Akira's power, once a source of wonder, had become a burden they carried together. "I'm scared, Akira," Haruka confessed one evening, her voice trembling. "Scared of losing you, scared of what they might do." Akira held her close, his heart aching. "I'm scared too, Haruka. But we have each other. As long as we are together, we can face anything." Their love story was no longer just a tale of young romance. It was a battle cry, a declaration of defiance against the forces that sought to tear them apart. They were more than lovers, they were partners in a war against the shadows. The weight of their secret world began to consume them. Sleepless nights were filled with whispered plans and shared fears. Akira's power, once a source of wonder, had become a burden they carried together. "I'm scared, Akira," Haruka confessed one evening, her voice trembling. "Scared of losing you, scared of what they might do." Akira held her close, his heart aching. "I'm scared too, Haruka. But we have each other. As long as we are together, we can face anything." Their love story was no longer just a tale of young romance. It was a battle cry, a declaration of defiance against the forces that sought to tear them apart. They were more than lovers, they were partners in a war against the shadows. The shadows, however, were closing in. A mysterious organization, its name whispered in hushed tones, began to make its presence felt. They were relentless, their methods cold and calculated. Akira and Haruka found themselves in the crosshairs, their love story becoming a pawn in a dangerous game. "They're getting closer," Akira said, his voice low. "We need a plan." Haruka nodded, her eyes filled with determination. "We can't let them win. Not without a fight." Their sanctuary, the once peaceful garden, became a war room. Maps, codes, and intelligence were scattered across the table. The two lovers, transformed into strategists, plotted their next move. The world outside was a battlefield, but within the confines of their secret world, they were forging an alliance against the darkness. The shadows deepened. Their enemies, a clandestine organization known as Obsidian, grew bolder. The once peaceful Kyoto was now a battleground of unseen forces. Akira and Haruka, bound by love and a shared destiny, stood as the city's last line of defense. Obsidian's leader, a man shrouded in mystery called Kuro, was a formidable adversary. His obsession with Akira's power was as insatiable as his thirst for control. He believed Akira was the key to unlocking a new era of darkness. "He's obsessed," Akira murmured, his eyes filled with a cold determination. "We have to stop him, Haruka, before it's too late." Haruka nodded, her hand finding his. "Together," she vowed. A pivotal moment arrived when Obsidian attacked the academy. The once serene campus transformed into a chaotic arena. Students, teachers, and staff were caught in the crossfire. Panic spread like wildfire, a cacophony of screams and cries echoing through the once tranquil grounds. Akira's heart pounded in his chest. This was real. People were in danger. With a deep breath, he unleashed the full extent of his abilities. Wind howled, uprooting trees and sending debris flying. Earth trembled, cracks appearing in the ground. Fire erupted, a wall of flame protecting the terrified students. Haruka fought beside him, her courage a beacon in the chaos. She organized the evacuation, her voice calm and reassuring. Together, they were a force to be reckoned with, a shield against the darkness. Akira's heart pounded like a war drum. The once familiar halls were now a labyrinth of fear and chaos. Students huddled together, their faces etched with terror. The serene campus, a place of dreams and aspirations, was now a battleground. Haruka, her eyes wide with shock, moved through the chaos with a calm efficiency. She was a beacon of hope amidst the despair, organizing rescue efforts, comforting the injured. Their roles had shifted dramatically. The lovers were now warriors, fighting for the lives of those they cared about. The battle raged. Akira's powers were a tempest unleashed. Wind, earth, and fire were his weapons. He fought with a ferocity born of desperation, his love for Haruka fueling his every move. He saw Kuro's men, shadowy figures amidst the chaos, their eyes glinting with a cold determination. A particularly dangerous foe, a hulking figure with inhuman strength, advanced towards Haruka. Akira's heart froze. With a surge of adrenaline, he created a wall of fire, a fiery barricade between the attacker and Haruka. The man roared in frustration, but the flames held. Haruka, seizing the opportunity, led a group of students to safety. As they retreated, she turned to look at Akira, her eyes filled with admiration and love. Their silent exchange was a promise, a vow to fight until the end. The battle raged. Akira's powers were a tempest unleashed. Wind, earth, and fire were his weapons. He fought with a ferocity born of desperation, his love for Haruka fueling his every move. He saw Kuro's men, shadowy figures amidst the chaos, their eyes glinting with a cold determination. A particularly dangerous foe, a hulking figure with inhuman strength, advanced towards Haruka. Akira's heart froze. With a surge of adrenaline, he created a wall of fire, a fiery barricade between the attacker and Haruka. The man roared in frustration, but the flames held. Haruka, seizing the opportunity, led a group of students to safety. As they retreated, she turned to look at Akira, her eyes filled with admiration and love. Their silent exchange was a promise, a vow to fight until the end. The battle reached a crescendo. Akira, exhausted but relentless, faced Kuro. The academy grounds were a battlefield scarred by destruction. The once familiar surroundings were now a haunting reminder of the darkness that had invaded their world. Kuro was a formidable opponent, his movements swift and precise. He fought with a cold efficiency, his eyes burning with a fanaticism that chilled Akira to the bone. But Akira was no less determined. His power surged, a counterpoint to Kuro's darkness. The clash of their wills was a tempest of elemental fury. Wind whipped around them, earth trembled beneath their feet, and flashes of fire illuminated the night sky. The battle was a dance of life and death, a struggle for the soul of the city. Haruka, though without supernatural powers, was no less courageous. She coordinated the evacuation, her calm demeanor a beacon of hope in the chaos. Her intelligence and resourcefulness were as potent as Akira's abilities. Together, they were an unstoppable force. As the dust settled, the full extent of the damage became apparent. The once vibrant campus was now a haunting testament to the darkness that had invaded their world. Yet, in the midst of the ruins, their love burned brighter than ever. "We can't let this happen again," Haruka said, her voice filled with resolve. "We have to protect this city." Akira nodded, his eyes filled with a grim determination. Together, he vowed. Their love, tested in the crucible of adversity, grew even stronger. In the aftermath of the attack, as they stood amidst the ruins of their school, they vowed to protect their city, their love, and each other. The following days were a blur of training, planning, and endless vigilance. Akira honed his abilities, pushing the boundaries of his power. He experimented with new combinations, striving for greater control, greater precision. Haruka, with the help of her family's resources, established a network of informants. Information was their weapon, intelligence their shield. Their once carefree lives were now consumed by a single purpose, to defeat Obsidian. The weight of this responsibility was immense, but their love gave them the strength to carry on. Their relationship, though strained by the constant threat, deepened in an unexpected way. The shared fear, the mutual reliance, created an intimacy that transcended the physical. In the quiet moments, when the world seemed to fade away, they found solace in each other's arms. Their hearts, battered by the storm, found refuge in the warmth of their love. Their relationship, though strained by the constant threat, deepened in an unexpected way. The shared fear, the mutual reliance, created an intimacy that transcended the physical. In the quiet moments, when the world seemed to fade away, they found solace in each other's arms. Their hearts, battered by the storm, found refuge in the warmth of their love. Winter descended upon Kyoto, mirroring the icy grip of fear that had settled over the city. Akira and Haruka huddled together, their love a small flame in the encroaching darkness. They were a formidable duo, their strengths complementing each other. Akira, with his elemental powers, was their weapon, while Haruka was the strategist, the mind behind their operations. Obsidian, sensing their growing resistance, intensified their attacks. The city was plunged into a state of perpetual unease. Every shadow held a threat, every noise a potential danger. Akira and Haruka lived in a world of heightened senses, their lives a constant vigil. One evening, as they huddled together for warmth, Haruka spoke. "I'm tired, Akira. Tired of living in fear. Tired of seeing our city suffer." Akira held her close, his voice a gentle counterpoint to her despair. "I know, love. But we can't give up. Not now." Their determination was a beacon in the darkness. They were fighting for more than just themselves. They were fighting for a city, for a future where fear didn't reign supreme. Winter descended upon Kyoto, mirroring the icy grip of fear that had settled over the city. Akira and Haruka huddled together, their love a small flame in the encroaching darkness. They were a formidable duo, their strengths complementing each other. Akira, with his elemental powers, was their weapon, while Haruka was the strategist, the mind behind their operations. Obsidian, sensing their growing resistance, intensified their attacks. The city was plunged into a state of perpetual unease. Every shadow held a threat, every noise a potential danger. Akira and Haruka lived in a world of heightened senses, their lives a constant vigil. One evening, as they huddled together for warmth, Haruka spoke. "I'm tired, Akira. Tired of living in fear. Tired of seeing our city suffer." Akira held her close, his voice a gentle counterpoint to her despair. "I know, love. But we can't give up. Not now." Their determination was a beacon in the darkness. They were fighting for more than just themselves. They were fighting for a city, for a future where fear didn't reign supreme. A breakthrough came unexpectedly. A former Obsidian member, a disillusioned operative named K, contacted them. Fear and desperation etched on his face, he offered information in exchange for protection. "Kuro is planning something big," K revealed, his voice trembling. "A weapon, a device that could change everything." A chill ran down Akira's spine. He knew that whatever Kuro was planning, it would be catastrophic. Haruka, her mind racing, began to formulate a plan. They had to stop Kuro before it was too late. Winter's bite intensified, mirroring the growing tension in Kyoto. Akira and Haruka were like two sides of a coin, their individual strengths complementing each other. He, the tempestuous force of nature, and she, the calm strategist, were an unbeatable duo. Their days were a relentless cycle of training, research, and planning. Akira pushed his limits, exploring new facets of his power. He learned to control the elements with a precision that bordered on artistry. Wind, water, fire, and earth obeyed his will, their raw power harnessed into tools of protection. Haruka, with the help of her family's vast resources, delved into Obsidian's history, their methods, and their ultimate goal. She spent countless hours poring over documents, analyzing patterns, constructing theories. Her mind was a fortress, impenetrable to the enemy's schemes. Their shared determination was a furnace, melting away doubts and fears. They were more than lovers, they were comrades in arms, bound by a common purpose. The weight of the city's fate rested on their shoulders, and they carried it with a quiet resolve. A breakthrough came when they discovered an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. It was a place where Obsidian had conducted experiments, a dark heart pulsating with sinister energy. The place reeked of desperation and power. With cautious steps, they entered the warehouse. The air was thick with the scent of decay and chemicals. Dust-covered machinery and strange symbols adorned the walls, creating an atmosphere of eerie desolation. In the center of the room, a pulsating, dark orb caught their attention. It was a source of immense power, a core of Obsidian's operations. Akira felt a surge of energy, a connection to the orb that was both terrifying and exhilarating. It was as if the object was calling to him, promising untold power. But he resisted, the memory of Haruka's hand in his pulling him back from the precipice. "Akira," Haruka's voice was a whisper in the echoing silence, "be careful." Her touch was a grounding force, a reminder of why they were there. Together, they approached the orb, their hearts pounding in their chests. Akira extended his hand, his fingers trembling slightly. The orb thrummed in response, its energy intensifying. With a concerted effort, they channeled their combined energy. Akira focused on disrupting the orb's power, while Haruka shielded him from its influence. The air crackled with energy as they struggled against the dark force. Finally, with a blinding flash of light, the orb shattered. The room was filled with a sense of relief, as if a heavy weight had been lifted. They had done it. They had struck a blow against obsidian. Their victory was short-lived. Kuro, sensing their intrusion, retaliated with full force. Obsidian's agents, more numerous and ruthless than before, descended upon the city. The once peaceful streets became battlegrounds. Akira and Haruka, their hearts heavy with the city's plight, fought with a desperation born of love and duty. The city was plunged into chaos. The familiar rhythms of life were replaced by the cacophony of sirens and gunfire. Akira and Haruka, their love a fortress against the encroaching darkness, fought side by side. He, a tempest of elemental power, she, a strategist with unwavering courage. The climax came at the heart of Kyoto, the ancient Jun district. The once serene streets were now a battlefield, a clash between light and shadow. Akira, a storm incarnate, fought with a ferocity that mirrored the city's despair. His powers, unleashed with a devastating force, painted the night sky with hues of fire and wind. Haruka, her intelligence a silent weapon, coordinated their movements. She was the calm in the storm, her mind calculating, her spirit unyielding. Together, they were a formidable force, a beacon of hope in the city's darkest hour. Kuro, the enigmatic leader of Obsidian, materialized from the shadows, his eyes burning with a cold intensity. The confrontation was inevitable. Akira and Haruka stood side by side, their love a shield against the impending darkness. The battle that ensued was a cataclysmic clash of wills. The earth trembled, the wind howled, and fire consumed everything in its path. Akira and Kuro, their powers evenly matched, fought with a desperation that bordered on madness. In the end, it was love that tipped the scales. With Haruka's unwavering belief in him, Akira found the strength to unleash a final, devastating blow. The ground beneath Kuro shattered, and the darkness that had enveloped him dissipated. With a final, triumphant cry, Akira emerged victorious. As dawn broke, casting its golden light on the weary city, Akira and Haruka stood together, their bodies bruised but their spirits unbroken. The city was saved, but the scars of the battle ran deep. Yet, in the quiet moments of reflection, as they held each other close, they found a strength they never knew existed. Their love, forged in fire, was the phoenix rising from the ashes, a symbol of hope for a city rebuilding from the darkness. Years later, Kyoto had healed. The scars of the Obsidian era were fading, replaced by a city reborn, stronger and more united. Akira and Haruka stood at the heart of this resurgence. They were married, their love a beacon in the city's renewed spirit. Akira, though still possessing his extraordinary abilities, had chosen a different path. He was a renowned scientist, his research focused on harnessing renewable energy, a testament to his belief in a world powered by harmony with nature. His power, once a weapon, was now a tool for creation. Haruka, an influential businesswoman, used her platform to promote education and social welfare. Her intelligence and compassion were now channeled into building a better future for the city they loved. Together, they were a formidable force, their partnership a testament to the enduring power of love. Their home was a sanctuary, filled with laughter and the warmth of shared dreams. They had children, bright, curious beings who brought a new light to their lives. In their children, they saw reflections of their own journey, a hope for a future free from the shadows of the past. Kyoto had risen from the ashes, stronger and more resilient. And at the heart of it all were Akira and Haruka, their love story a living testament to the power of human spirit to overcome adversity. Their journey was far from over, but as they stood together, looking out at the city they had helped rebuild, they knew that their greatest adventure was yet to come. Their academy, rebuilt with the help of the entire community, stood as a symbol of hope. It was more than just a place of learning, it was a sanctuary, a place where young minds were nurtured and dreams took flight. In the quiet evenings, they would often sit in their garden, a place that had witnessed their love story unfold. The cherry tree, a silent observer of their journey, stood tall, its branches heavy with blossoms. As they watched the sunset paint the sky in hues of pink and gold, they would hold hands, their hearts filled with gratitude for the life they had built together. Akira would often look at Haruka, his eyes filled with a love that transcended time. She, in turn, would smile, her heart brimming with a happiness that was as enduring as the mountains. In the quietude of those moments, they would find solace, knowing that their love story was far from over. It was an ongoing saga, a testament to the enduring power of hope, resilience, and the human spirit. Thank you for watching. Next part coming up soon.